Hello, Louisville. This is Cardinal Pairadice. I'm JP.
And I'm AC.
This is season 3. AC, let's get it started here, big guy.
All right.
Louisville continues their role as they trampled over the Thundering Herd on Saturday night.
I think they got a boom.
They did get a boom, another boom. 59-28. But you know what? The final score wasn't indicative of how dominant Louisville was.
Yeah.
Jair fumbled muffed a punt. They got a touchdown. They had to go 12 yards. And then we fumbled another ball, and they ran it back for a touchdown. So there's 14.
Oh, yeah.
The other 14 they got was at the end of the game when we had probably our 2s or our 3s defense in.
Yeah, everybody will look at that score and say, okay, well, Louisville was well in control of that. Well in control.
And they were. And then, Bobby got a little upset with the fact that it was 52 to, I guess, 28, and he put the first team back in, and they ran down the field and scored another touchdown. So they kind of flexed on them.
I'll tell you what, Bobby scared the hell out of me, though. I mean,
Well,
put those starters back in there, and it was getting a little chippy. So, the Herd, their feelings were hurt a little bit, and I would hate for them to go at Lamar and do something stupid.
Which is probably was, not necessarily part of the game plan, but I'm sure they wanted to try to hurt somebody.
Yeah. But it worked out.
It did.
Bobby's
it did.
coach.
Yeah, it did. I mean, Lamar had another ho-hum game, 7 touchdowns, no big deal. It's just 25, more touchdowns than any team in the FBS.
Oh, yeah.
I think Michigan might have, as a team, might have the same amount or whatever. But you're getting that from one guy. It's pretty impressive.
That's right.
And, had a good day passing. And I thought that something that was really interesting, we were talking about it before we started taping. We can talk about it now so our listeners can hear it. But, Marshall tried to come out and contain Lamar.
Yeah, they were shooting those ends, trying to get him up the field to stop him from running the ball. I thought it was smart, and I got a feeling that Clemson's going to try to do something similar, but Bobby adjusted. Bobby's one hell of an offensive coordinator. Bobby adjusted. And after he adjusted, it was over.
And we talked about Petrino doing that, and we also talked about the fact they really only had like one passing touchdown per game. And then this game, it completely changed.
Oh, yeah.
Now he started going to the air.
Yep.
Which plays right into your hands. You like the passing attack.
Yeah, I think we were averaging 1 touchdown with the wideouts over the last 3 games. In this game, I think we got 5 touchdowns. Hicatini caught 2 touchdowns. James still on the roll. That's my guy.
He is, man. He's playing great.
So our receivers are more involved, and Lamar just didn't have the pressure he had to score. So he's got weapons out there, and he's using them.
The funny thing is, Brandon Radcliffe, is getting lost in the shuffle here, but he's averaging 100 and something yards per game.
Oh, yeah.
He's scoring every single game.
Yeah.
And if Lamar wasn't on our team, Brandon Radcliffe would be getting all this airtime and all this press.
Yeah.
He's just kind of getting shuffled back a little bit. But when you got the leading Heisman Trophy candidate on your team, some people are going to get overlooked a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the way that Bobby utilized the tight ends this week. But Cole caught 2 great passes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, they were perfect passes from Lamar, too. But that one where he dropped it over his shoulder and he stretched out his arms and caught that second touchdown pass was a thing of beauty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I think it was a skinny post.
He's tuned in. Cole's tuned in.
Yep.
I think our receivers are tuned in, and they're hungry to catch some balls. But I think overall they're hungry to win. So
and they had a balanced attack. We had 273 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns on the ground. But like we said, we had 417 yards passing and 5 touchdowns to there. So, Louisville is a very well-balanced team. So if you're gonna pressure us and try to stop the run, he's gonna throw.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try to stop Lamar from throwing, they're gonna run. And it's gonna be interesting to see the rest of the season how all that stuff plays out. But we're deep at every position.
Oh, yeah.
And they're skilled at every position. So, it's going to be interesting. But I think Saturday, my game ball is definitely going to go to Cole Hicatini, who caught the 2 touchdown passes. Both of them were great catches. You can see the development in Bobby's offense.
Yeah.
And that's what you were talking about earlier. You can see it now. We were a little concerned they weren't getting the passing touchdowns, but you know what? He takes what they give him.
Oh, yeah. And that's what he's known for. If he finds a weakness, he's like I say, he's going to stick the knife in. He's going for it every time, and he's going to do it till they try to stop it.
And Louisville could have easily scored many more touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, again, Lamar did not play a full game, hasn't played a full game all season. Yeah. So, they just keep dominating opponents. And they say we haven't played anybody, but we did play Florida State, and they kind of shut up after that dominating performance we put on against the Florida State Seminoles. And it's interesting because I watched actually that Florida State special on Showtime.
Oh, yeah.
And a couple of times Jimbo didn't even want to have the cameras around. Hey, shut off the cameras. You got to shut off the cameras. I got to talk to my guys here. They got steamrolled. They were embarrassed. You could see them sitting on the sideline, drooped over, and heads were shaking. I might even saw a tear on a couple of those guys, but that's what happens. You roll.
It was a humbling experience.
It was a very humbling experience. Yeah. So who was your player of the game, AC?
I think I'm going to go with Brandon Radcliffe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kid lost some weight. He looks good. I mean, his speed looks awesome. When he comes out of that backfield, Bobby pulls those guards, man. He's rolling around that end. He looks awesome. I think he had 19 carries for 131 yards. And, I mean, he's our backbone right now. You see him in there, Lamar, those receivers, man. I'm excited. I'm excited about the
offensive line has done such a better job this year.
Yeah.
I mean, B-Rad seems to get a 20-yard run every single game, and that's awesome. I mean, that really helps open up everything. So
I think Lamar's loosened him up just a little bit. So,
yeah, he probably is. He probably is. And we're going to throw in a little wrinkle here. We're going to have the JP Mortgage play of the day for Saturday. And, AC, I like Stanford a little bit, and I like my guy Christian McCaffrey. And I wish I could give it to Christian this week, but actually the very last play of the game, and I think Stanford now has beat UCLA maybe 9 times in a row or something like that. Mm-hmm. UCLA thought they had that game. Stanford marches right down the field with 20-something seconds to go, 24 seconds to go. Hit number 19, Arcega Whiteside, just in the front of the end zone there. He had a hell of a catch, got 1 foot down, and Stanford wins the game again. It was a hell of a play. It was awesome.
They ain't scoring no points, JP. Stanford's not scoring any points.
Where's the offense? Well, it's coming. Well, they got a new quarterback.
McCaffrey's been in the end zone, 5 times this year?
Yeah, but
they got to crank that up.
Don't cut on my guy too much.
I get it.
You wait. They got a tough one coming up.
He's still cutting the Ducks out. Just remember that.
I am right now. But, AC, this show's about winners.
Yeah.
That's why we talk about Louisville. The show's about winners. I know that hurts a little bit.
You got friends out there in
Oregon.
Oregon.
I do. And actually, he's coming in for the Duke game.
Wow.
Mike, sorry about that, big guy, but this show is. We talk about winners on this show.
All right.
So we're going to go to some games around the country, AC, and there's some good matchups this weekend. There's none better than what we got Saturday. We'll talk about that in a minute. However, my boys from Stanford, my boys from the farm, the number 7 team in the nation. Stanford goes to Washington. Chris Peterson. Number 7 versus number 10. Washington's favored by 3.5. I am going to take Stanford. I'm still not a believer in Washington. I'm not a believer in Washington.
Yeah.
I'll take Stanford in the points.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, I think Stanford going to win the game straight up, but I'll take Stanford.
I'm going to be quick about it. Washington's going to roll Stanford.
All right, Big Ten. Wisconsin, who I said last week I'm not a believer in, and then they steamrolled Michigan State. So now I'm a believer in them. However, they got to go to the big house.
That's right.
But at Michigan, Michigan's giving them, I think, 10 or 10.5 points. So I'm going to be a believer in you, Wisconsin Badgers, and I'm going to say Wisconsin's going to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but I don't think Michigan's going to win by 11 either.
I get it. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan rolls Wisconsin.
Okay. And then Oklahoma and TCU. Now, Oklahoma, I'm sorry, and I know I said we talk about winners on this show.
Yeah.
They've lost 2 in a row. I think it's probably more for Devontae Fields. I like the cat. He transferred from TCU. But Oklahoma's a 3.5-point favorite at TCU. I always like home dogs. I'll take TCU.
Wow. I think the Stoops are not doing very well this year. So I think there are going to be a couple of job openings soon. But I'm going to leave that alone. But, Oklahoma, they're still Oklahoma. They're at TCU, right?
At TCU.
At TCU. Right. I think Oklahoma wins this one.
Okay. Yeah. And I hate hearing about the SEC, but Tennessee plays Georgia. Tennessee had a big win. I think this is a bounce game. Tennessee's favored by 3.5. I think Georgia's going to win the game.
Georgia's weak. Tennessee wins.
Okay. It's simple, but I don't know. We'll see.
It's simple.
Now we're going to turn our attention to the biggest game of the weekend. Once again, Louisville, center stage, going to Clemson Memorial Stadium, the Death Valley, game days there. We've already had game day, and it didn't affect us at all. We rolled Florida State out of there.
Yeah.
And you know what? The team has a quiet, calm demeanor about them, which tells me they're well prepared, which is typical Bobby Petrino team.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what I think, AC? I think Louisville's going to go in there. They're going to take care of business. I think Louisville's going to win. I like them to win by a touchdown. I think it's going to be 38-31. But I think Louisville's going to win again, and that puts them in the driver's seat for the ACC Atlantic and headed to the ACC Championship. And then who knows after that?
I say we're coming off 2 close games the last 2 years with Clemson. You know, less than a touchdown.
3 and 5, I think.
You know, so Bobby has a game plan. He's got the horses this year. You know, Clemson, I just don't think, honestly, I don't think they played anybody. You know, everybody's saying they had an impressive win against Georgia Tech, and I think they only scored 20-some points.
26, I think.
Their
defense looked good against Georgia Tech. But
we go down, we beat Clemson, and my score will be 42-21.
42-20. Yeah, I think it'll be hard to stop their offense, just like I think it's going to be hard for Clemson's defense to stop our offense. Clemson, I think, has the number 1 defense, and we're like 10, 11, 12, 13, something like that. So it'll be a good matchup. We'll be there. I like I said, I like Louisville. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think we're going to come out of there 5-0 and in control of the ACC.
That's right.
All right, well, that's going to be a wrap for this week. I'm JP.
And I'm AC.
This is Cardinal Pairadice, and that's how we roll.